Why does judicial independence matter, and what does it mean in practice? Why should we care about it? These are questions that often arise in discussions about the law and its function in society. To answer these questions, consider the case of a fictional country. Let's call it Atlantica. In Atlantica, the government and the courts are intertwined, with the government having the power to dictate the decisions of the court. This seems efficient on the surface, as it allows for swift decision-making. However, it poses a serious problem. It means that the government can use the courts to suppress dissent, to punish political enemies, and to protect itself from legal consequences. In this scenario, the courts are not able to protect the rights of individuals or minorities against the government. This is where the concept of judicial independence comes in. It is the principle that the judiciary should be separate from and independent of the other branches of government. This separation is essential because it allows the courts to serve as a check and balance on the powers of the other branches of government. In Atlantica, the lack of judicial independence meant that the government could exploit the courts to its advantage. But in a country with judicial independence, this would be much harder to do. The courts could rule against the government if it overstepped its bounds or violated the rights of individuals or minorities. That's why judicial independence is so important. It ensures that the courts can fulfill their role as protectors of the law and the rights of individuals, even against the government itself. But how can judicial independence be achieved? It is certainly not easy. The other branches of government often have the power to ignore or resist the decisions of the courts, or even to retaliate against them. This is why it is so important to have constitutional safeguards that protect judicial independence. In the words of Alexander Hamilton, the judiciary is the least dangerous branch because it has no influence over either the sword or the purse. This means that it is least capable of defending itself against the other branches of government, but it also means that it is most in need of protection against them. In summary, judicial independence is the principle that the judiciary should be separate from and independent of the other branches of government. It is important because it allows the courts to serve as a check and balance on the powers of the government and to protect the rights of individuals and minorities against the government. Achieving judicial independence is difficult because the other branches of government often have the power to resist or retaliate against the courts. But it is essential for the rule of law and the protection of rights, and it needs to be safeguarded by constitutional provisions.